Can you hear me? Okay, thank you.
Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown, Dunkirk, and Westfield, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County.
The Chautauqua Center.
Are you looking for affordable medical, dental, or counseling services? The Chautauqua Center is always accepting new patients at their Jamestown and Dunkirk locations. They offer discounted prescriptions and accept all insurances. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to Chautauqua Sunrise. And today was just that. It was a beautiful sunrise coming in from Ripley. The sun was just breaking over the hills here in Mayville, the county seat of Chautauqua County. Just a gorgeous day. Looks like we're going to have some really nice weather for the next few days. Actually, I think we're in a warming trend. I'm seeing lots of 40s and 50s in the forecast, and I'm good with that. I'm not sure where you all live, but this morning I was hearing a variety of birds that I haven't heard all winter, so I think they're slowly creeping back into the area.
I heard that too.
You heard that too? Yeah, I got a report that somebody had seen a robin the other day, and I'm still waiting for that. Usually they show up about like 20 of them at a time, like a gang of them. So we'll see. But it's that time of year, so it's really cool. Okay, I want to say first of all, good morning once again to everybody in the world. We're streaming live, and we've had people from Thailand, from Pakistan, from all over the United States, Chautauqua County in the region here. Please do leave us a note. We love seeing where you're from, and just say hi, or if you have a question or a comment, please do, because we're trying to grow the show and show off all the good stuff here in Chautauqua County. We're so proud of our county. Speaking of cool stuff, I also want to remind you that this is maple syrup season, and it's that time of year where we show off a lot of the good stuff that we do here, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But we have so much to offer here in Chautauqua County. I want to say good afternoon to all of my listeners on WRFA 107.9, Low Power to the People in Jamestown, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. So glad you could join us. We got a show that I think you're going to find very interesting, and you may want to follow up on some of the things you hear about today. Also want to remind you that you can call in live, and this goes for those of you that are watching us from anywhere in the world. It's on your dime, of course, but the phone number here is 716-753-5225. And if you have a question for my guest, myself, or if your club or organization has something going on, something really cool, a fundraiser, whatever it is, let us know. We'll be happy to announce it, as you know we do every week. If somebody's having a special birthday or anniversary, shout out to those folks, okay? So we'd love to do that. All right, for the next week or so, I'm going to be giving away some tickets for something kind of cool. Last week we had Diane and Ida from the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation, and they left me some tickets for their Flapjack fundraiser. These are $6 tickets, and if you call in to that number that I just mentioned, 716-753-5225, we're going to give away 2 sets of 2. So if you call in, you leave us your name and address, and we'll mail you these tickets. So you can call in for 2 tickets, and we're going to give those away today, and we have some we're going to give away next week. And after that, we have more pancake tickets to give away for another organization. So happy to do it. So again, give us a call. Randy's on the other line. He'll be taking your information, and be happy to get these tickets out to you for the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation fundraiser, Flapjack fundraiser. It's going to be lots of fun, and it's going to be at Applebee's in Dunkirk. So if you're interested, give us a call, give those tickets away. All right. This week coming up really kind of kicks off the St. Patrick's Day festivities all over the area. Just want to mention that, as you know, I am a musician, and this is sort of my busy time of year for some reason. People like to get a hold of me to do some Celtic music, as we've seen with other folks, like my friends Sue Tillotson and Jim Cunningham and lots of others. And I'll be performing next Sunday at the Trillium Lodge over in Cherry Creek from 4 to 7. Then on St. Patty's Day, I'm going to be at the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club from 4 to 7. All right, so that's coming up. So looking forward to seeing all of you. And of those of you that might be listening from LSS in Jamestown, had a great fun evening the other night doing some Irish music with all of you. And a shout out to Ken Fitzgerald, who was singing louder and higher than I was. We had a lot of fun with the seniors over there. Okay, I have a bunch of announcements to share with you. And as I always say, if you don't call in, we don't know what's going on, and it's free of charge and happy to do it. So let's start with slide 15. And this is an announcement from Prevention Works, okay? And all I'm going to tell you is that if you check out this slide or go to their website, all right, preventionworks.us, okay, again, preventionworks, all one word, .us, they have free online trainings, okay, from parenting or how to deal with addiction, all kinds of things, and we're happy to let you know that that is available, okay? Check that out. All right, let's keep on moving. Chicken and biscuit dinner, slide 16, March 9th. That's like Monday, the day after tomorrow, over at the First Presbyterian Church in Westfield, just down the road. Our friends from the Westfield Memorial Hospital Auxiliary are putting this on, and it benefits the auxiliary, who then benefits the hospital. Tickets are only $10, $5 for children under 10. Takeout is available, and they tell me they start at 5 p.m. and they supposedly have a 6:30 end date, but they tell me they never get to 6:30 because this is such a popular dinner that a lot of times they run out early. So if you're interested in chicken and biscuit dinner, get down there early and get yours. Okay. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about something called the STEM Wars. Okay, it's going to be March 12th. That's coming up this week. Lots going on. All right, this is going to be the last time we'll be talking about this. On March 12th, manufacturers and schools from throughout the region will come together for STEM Wars. It sounds like Star Wars, doesn't it? STEM Wars provides students an opportunity to showcase their science, technology, engineering, and math talents and various projects. STEM Wars features a variety of competitions and an opportunity for students to meet with area manufacturers to learn about their companies and products. One of the things that I learned early on in my career in education is we seem to want to push kids into college to figure out what they want to do and get a job, but that's not how it works. You should be planning ahead of time. So this is a great opportunity for somebody that you may know that is interested in production, manufacturing, electronics, whatever. And this isn't gender bias. This is for anybody, girls, boys, whatever. Get out there and check this out. The event takes place at JCC campus in Jamestown, bringing together over 800 students from around the region to participate in a fun and educational event featuring STEM activities, competitions, local manufacturing, technology companies, and on-site building leadership skills projects. Middle school and high school students are invited to participate each year and work for weeks in advance to prepare their projects for competition. If I'm not mistaken, I think some of this is like robotics, and they do these battles and all kinds of cool things. So if you're interested, an old acquaintance of mine, Dr. Tim Piazza, can be contacted at 483-1833 if you're interested for more information. Sounds like lots of fun. Okay, last call on this one. I got an email the other day. March 13th is the deadline for the 19th annual poster contest for the 2020 Alcohol Awareness Month poster contest. It's open to Chautauqua County students, grades 3 through 12. This year's theme is Prevention Works, and of course, it's being sponsored by Prevention Works. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything more because the schools have all the information, but if mom and dad or you see that your son or daughter is working on a poster, time's a wasting here, and they have cash prizes for that, so it's a lot of fun. Okay, let's go to slide 17. Sip and sample. Flavors of spring with Irish bling. Lots of Irish stuff going on. Saturday, March 14th, 1 to 4 p.m. at the Lake Erie Grape Discovery Center in Westfield, over there on West Main Street. Enjoy samples from 21 Bricks Winery, Johnson Estate Winery, Willow Creek Winery, Woodbury Vineyards, and a whole lot more. Plus, Big Inlet Brewery and Harrington Maple, and live music by Vile Habits. And they're going to have samples. There's going to be Irish and maple themed food tastings. Wow. All tastings and entertainment included in ticket price. Pre-sale tickets are $12 and $15 at the door. What a great way to spend an afternoon. Again, that's from 1 to 4 next Saturday. For more information, give them a call at 326-2003 or 969-4859. And they want you to know that the Grape Discovery Center is a nonprofit 501c3 organization. Okay, let's go to Jamestown now. Celebrate St. Patty's Day in downtown Jamestown on March 14th. What's happening? They're on a turn to River Green. Okay, and that's going to happen 11 o'clock along the Riverwalk in Brooklyn Square on the 14th Saturday. And the event is sponsored this year by the Chautauqua County Visitors Bureau, M&T Bank, and the Chamber strongly encourages local businesses to participate for the day as well. They'll provide you with a standard leprechaun crossing poster for your business that indicates that you are offering some special deal on Saturday, March 14th. So if you're interested in being part of the activities that day, or you give a call at 484-1101 and ask for Joanna Dahlbeck. And if you're not a business and you want some fun and you want to see a little leprechaun along the river, are they dressing you up, Justin, this year? No? No? Okay. Anyways, get that little leprechaun down there, and he's going to do something magical and turns the river green. I know they did it for years and years, and then they stopped, but they're doing it again. Lots of fun. Next Saturday. Okay, slide 18. North County Chevetta's Barbecue Chicken Dinner Fundraiser event. Okay, this is Prevention Works again. Boy, they got lots of stuff going on. North County Barbecue. Okay, dinner includes a barbecue chicken half, 2 sides, dinner roll, and a dessert. Takeouts and dining is available. All proceeds help increase social, emotional learning, and intervention programs for youth in Chautauqua County. It's going to be held Tuesday, March 31, from 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., and it's going to be at the Masonic Forest Lodge on East Main Street in Fredonia. Can't miss it if you're going up the road. It's on the right. Well, depending on which way you're going, but it's a big white building pushed back. Like that? That was funny. Okay, moving along. Slide 19. My club, the Rotary Club of Westfield Mayville, is having a pancake breakfast. This is more of a mark your calendar, and we're going to be giving away some tickets on this. Not this week, but in a couple weeks. It's going to be held Saturday, April 4th, okay, from 8 to 11 at the Brockton Central School Cafeteria over there on West Main Street in Brockton. The menu includes all you could eat pancakes, some sausage, applesauce, coffee, tea, or grape juice. Tickets are $7. Kids age 6 to 12 are $5. Kiddos under 5 are free. And tickets are now on sale, and you can stop down at my good friend Tracy Bennett's office. He's got tickets there. Or you can talk to any Rotarian in the area, and we'll get you a ticket. Tracy's number is 326-3800 if you want more information on that. And then finally, slide 20. This just came in late, okay? And this is a fun one. I'll try to explain this one. All right. There's a free maple sugar party in Mayville on March 22nd. 3 p.m. until maple sugar is gone. This is going to be held at the United Methodist Church in Mayville. Oh, look at that. Special music by yours truly, Doc Hamels. I played there last year. I got to tell you, folks, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. This is a fun time, and it's free, okay? A gentleman years ago set up an endowment program where the church would sponsor a maple sugar party. I'm going backwards again. And they will go around with hot maple syrup, and they give you a little bit, and you drop it on wax paper or whatever, and it dries like a little cookie or a little piece of candy. And the whole room, there's like 100 people, and everybody is making this maple syrup candy. And then they have little refreshments and so forth. And I played last year, and just a lot of fun. And I was inducted into the Maple Sugar Party Club, and I'll be back, and I think I'm gonna bring my grandkids this year. So anyways, so that's it for right now for announcements. See how easy that was? It's free of charge, and we're happy to do it. Okay, we're gonna take a little breather, and we have a special public service announcement, and this is for you.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know. Come alive with the forest. The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Oh my gosh, that's just like being at home. We've got all kinds of wildlife at our house. I started ticking off one day all the different varieties of animals we have. I mean, I got bear, coyote, fisher cat. If you don't know what that is, look it up sometime. Raccoon, possum, turkey, and then all the other little rodents and things like that. I love Chautauqua County, if you haven't figured that out. Okay, one more, probably remind you again, but we're giving away 2 flapjack tickets for pancake breakfast at Applebee's for March 21st, and $6 value for each. We're giving away sets of 2. Give us a call at 753-5225 if you're interested in getting some free tickets. Happy to do that. Okay, today we have a special guest, and I want to tell you a little bit about things. As I've studied the history of America, Europe, and so forth, there was a time in all of our countries where life was pretty tough on the street. There was a lot of kids running around. The wars throughout the world have been tearing up nations, lots of widows, lots of kids that were orphaned and so forth. And governments didn't really know what to do in many cases. And the reason why I know a lot of this, I did a lot of my PhD, my dissertation on some of this stuff. And throughout the years, we had these people called social workers. Well, they were people that were pretty well off, and they decided that there was a need to help other people and maybe give a hand now and then. Well, then over time, church groups and other organizations stepped up as well. And today it's my pleasure to introduce to you Major Christine Ramirez, who is from the Dunkirk Salvation Army, who's one of those folks that have stepped up to help people in need. How's that for an introduction?
That's nice. Very kind.
Well, I read up a little bit on the Salvation Army, and I didn't know that much about it. So, so how about first of all, let's talk about who Christine Ramirez is. So, where do you come from? Who are you?
Chris Ramirez grew up outside of Corning, New York, on a farm, and graduated high school and got out and is just coming back to the area now. Mom and Dad are getting older, and it's nice to just be able to be closer to them.
They live here locally?
They live outside of Corning.
Oh,
still.
so they're still over there,
And
okay.
so they're still a couple hours away, but it's a lot closer than I've been in the last few years. And the Salvation Army was good to move me closer to them. And Chris Ramirez is enjoying small town life and being away from all the busyness of the Eastern Coast. And it's good to be back around.
So you
here.
said you were in Connecticut for a while?
So, right, so Salvation Army officers are pastors, so when we get commissioned out of seminary, we're sent, and our family was sent to Connecticut for 8 years. Then we actually asked to go to Mexico. My mother-in-law and her family are in Mexico City, and so
Hence Ramirez.
we get, hence the Ramirez. Yeah, people look at me and they're like, "You're white." Yep, I am. Yeah, so it was great. The kids got to grow up and do elementary school a few years there, get to know
Where
the
in Mexico?
culture. Northern Mexico City. So they got to ride the bus and see all the people and all the crazy of a big city.
So how long were you there?
We were there 4 years, and then we moved to Newark, New Jersey for 6 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, big difference there.
Yeah. So do you speak pretty fluent Spanish?
Pretty fluent, yeah.
Is it similar to the Spanish that people will speak in other parts of the United States?
It is similar. There are a lot of words that are different between every Spanish culture I've learned. There are different little things, but pretty much the same. You know, it's kind of like us in England. We have a few words that are different that you have to kind of learn the lingo a little bit.
Right.
But other than that,
Okay. As I was schooled by some ladies one day from Puerto Rico, and I was trying to use my Cancun Spanish I had picked up, and they had no idea what I was talking about, and I really embarrassed myself, so now I just shut up and listen.
I think it just, some of them speak slower and other ones speak so fast, and they're just, some I can understand and other ones I just have to say, hold on, you know.
Hold on a minute. slow
Still
down.
white here, you know, still don't know all of the Spanish yet. But
Okay. Well, so you've had an interesting career so far.
it's been an exciting ride.
So let's see if I add that all up. That's 8 and 6 and 4. So 18 years with the Salvation Army?
So I actually have 24,
24
right now.
years. Wow. So how long have you been in Dunkirk then?
I've been here 2 years.
All right, so there comes a couple more
and
years.
there
there.
was a couple years in Boston.
Oh,
in
Boston!
between.
You mentioned Boston. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Emerald. She lived in Boston. Emerald's going on her senior trip to Boston.
oh, cool.
For 3 days, 2 nights.
It's
So,
beautiful.
yeah.
There's so much there to do, and it's all close by, and you can get a lot done in 3 days.
So everybody that's listening, watching right now, they always know the ding 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 ding, the red kettle. I mean, I'm not trying to be smart right now, but I mean that's what
That's what they know us
first
for.
thing, or the thrift shops. I mean, but when I read about the Salvation Army, I just was go, wow. I mean, like
Yeah.
wow. I mean, this is a huge organization. I didn't even realize that it was in so many countries and so forth. So how about give us the special talk about what is the Salvation Army and what do you do and all that stuff?
Sure. So the Salvation Army began in the East End of London in the 1860s with a man named William Booth and his wife. William Booth was a preacher, and he began to see people that were down and out, and he would bring them into church with them. And like the people you were talking about, they didn't always smell the right way. They were often intoxicated and just really down and out. And he would bring them into church and set them in the front row with him, thinking he was going to change their lives. And it turned out that he was asked to leave and not bring those people to the front row. So he started his own church out in the street, preaching to people. Would just get a bucket and stand on it or whatever. And then grew into a warehouse in London and called it the Christian Mission for a time, and then officially became the Salvation Army in 1865.
You know what's so sad? When I was reading that, I was thinking of there was the Industrial Revolution at the time, and you had lots of child labor and all that, and you had just atrocities going on. It's not a whole lot different today.
We're slowly
right.
cycling back
Yeah.
into a lot of that.
I
aren't
mean,
we?
there's more and more need as
Yeah.
government programs are being shut down or haven't been funded, where we have a lot of people that are in dire straits. just as they were in those days. Obviously, the setting
Sure.
is different, the reasons are different, but it's still there.
There are a lot of people around that just haven't been prepared for life to take this cycle, and they're not trained or educated enough for the jobs. You know, for a while they pushed education. You need an education, you need to go on to college. Now there's so many jobs that are just available right out of high school that our culture isn't teaching kids, I think, to work maybe with their hands enough to where they can even go and do some of that.
Hence the STEM wars that I was talking
Yeah.
about earlier is
Come in handy.
yeah, I mean, it's a noble art to build things or to wire something or to use your mind to apply mathematics that you think you're never going to use in school. Now you can actually use it in the real sense. Okay.
Sure can.
So 1865, England. Okay, William Booth, his wife. I believe his daughter came to America, if I read it right.
His daughter came to America. She was our third general. So the general would be in charge of the worldwide Salvation Army. And
So Army, that has an interesting
Army.
context. I see you have a uniform on and some lapels. And so tell me about the Army. Where did that all come from?
So when I first started with the Salvation Army, I was in college, and I got a little note in my mailbox offering to stand kettles for $4 an hour. And I got there, my mom came from out of town, drove me over, and we read the sign, and it said lieutenants on it. And I said, "This is weird, Mom." And we drove away the first time because I thought, I'm not sure what we're getting into here. You know, we had no idea. And then a friend from college was also doing the kettles and realized it's a halfway decent group of people, pretty nice people, and you should try it. And I just really fell in love the first time I walked into church on Sunday. All these people are hugging me and kissing on me, and they were just a very friendly group of ladies at that time in that particular church. And it was a Christmas job. And then I realized I wanted to go into ministry, but I really didn't want to. I wasn't so comfortable with all the church stuff. I wanted to be part of a church that was doing some of the things that we find in the Bible and not just the preaching.
Boots on the ground.
And had no idea that was the Salvation Army that worked out for me for the plan for my life. And so we're just doing, just kind of trying to do the same things that William Booth and Catherine would have done and figure out how that looks like in northern Chautauqua County today. What are those kinds of needs? What would we be doing? How can we be a church that's outside of the building and not just in it?
Okay, so the Salvation Army is a church?
So we're a Christian church.
Oh.
We're part of the evangelical Christian church of the world. We're very similar in doctrine and thinking to the Methodists
Okay.
and the Wesleyans, a lot of that kind of background. But because of our roots, we're kind of, so there aren't a lot of rules. You won't find baptisms, you won't find the Lord's Supper and things like that you might have done when you were a kid. And that's not because we think it's wrong. It's really so that nobody feels uncomfortable. If you come in blue jeans, you should feel comfortable. If you come in and you're not comfortable with water baptism, you're fine there. You know, we don't want to exclude anybody. It's not that all of those things are wrong, but we want everyone to be comfortable.
So if I was to go to the Salvation Army, I'm going into a church?
Yep, you come in the front door, there's a entryway just like any building, and then off to one side is an office, up to another side is a chapel, and straight ahead is a cafeteria. So from the outside, you may not even notice that all of our buildings are churches.
I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so so do you have parishioners?
We have parishioners, we have soldiers, so once people go through seminary, they would be a lieutenant for 5 years, then a captain, and then a major, kind of with ranks. Our parishioners would be called soldiers. So they would also have uniforms, not required, but people who join the church, we call them soldiers. Because of our roots and our background, it's not sort of a church where you come, we do church and you leave and come back Sunday. For me personally, it's, okay, if you're going to be a member of this church, then you need to be hands on the ground as well. You need to be boots on the ground, out there helping, have some kind of a mission. We're not just here to come and be taught, but we're here on this earth to give to other people as well.
So the concept of Army, where did that come from to begin with?
It started with just calling ourselves an army and giving people a rank allowed us to be more mobile. We're not taught to be, I've moved to Dunkirk, I'm here for forever, buy myself a house. You know, it's more be ready to go wherever you're needed at any time.
Well,
And so structuring ourselves that way allows us to be more mobile and more flexible.
okay. So, to be in the Salvation Army, you're not a minister. You can be a minister, or you can be a soldier.
Or you can just be an attendee.
Attendee.
We have volunteers that come just during the week and help out in the food pantry. We have coaches that come and just volunteer to teach basketball that don't necessarily come to our church on Sunday morning. They may go to another church. They may not go to a church at all. They may just want to help people, and that's fine too.
Okay, so it's not required that you be a member of the church
Not
to,
at
be,
all.
to be involved with the Salvation
No,
Army.
not
That's
at
what
all.
I'm hearing. Okay. How many parishioners do you have, or soldiers?
We have, on any given Sunday morning, we'll have like 25 or 30 people
Wow,
together.
Okay. And now, if I'm not mistaken, there's also Salvation Army Church in Jamestown? Did I say that
There's
right?
another church in Jamestown, yeah.
How big is that one, do you know?
I don't know how many they have. They're bigger than we are. It's a bigger town, and that bigger programs, more going on over there, different
Okay.
kinds of things going on.
Remember I told you I
A little
have
bit
things in
bigger.
my earpiece. I was just told it's off of Brooklyn Square.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank
Very
you.
near the River Rock and
Where there's going to
River
be
Walk
turning
and the
green.
green water. Yep.
Okay, so I'm trying to capitalize all this now. So 1865, William Booth and his wife, they see there's lots of need out on the street. He realizes he can't do his work in the usual manner in church because they're saying don't bring those bums in here and all that.
Yep.
So he goes out on the street. So he's like a street minister
He
type
does.
thing. That's a tough life.
They had a bunch of kids. They taught their kids to do it. Some of their kids became Salvation Army ministers. It's a very sacrificial life.
Okay. So it's in America, obviously, and it's in England. So what's the corporate structure? And I mean that in the best sense. For instance, you and I both are Rotarians, we found out,
Sure.
and there's an international organization. So what's the structure for Salvation Army?
The structure is that the general, or the head of the Salvation Army worldwide, is in London, England.
Oh,
Still a mile or two away from the East End where we all began. And then we branch out into territories around the world. And the United States is part of the Americas and Caribbean territory. Within the United States, we have 4 territories. So we're right now in the Eastern Territory. And that covers from Maine out to Ohio, down a couple towns in Kentucky. And then once you hit Virginia, and that's the Southern Territory. So we have 13 states up here, I believe. And then within the territories, we branch into divisions. So we're in the Empire State Division.
okay.
New York State has Greater New York Division, that's New York City and
Of course.
around there.
Yeah.
And then the important people are in Empire. And we, so we're part of that. And the Empire Division headquarters is in Syracuse. So then from Syracuse, you would go to Jamestown. We're in Chautauqua County. Jamestown is the county head for the Salvation Army. And then you have Jamestown, offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk.
Wow. Pretty well. All right. So that was the United States. Where else are you in the world? Anywhere else?
We're in 134 different countries, I
Holy
believe. I
mackerel.
could be wrong.
A lot. Over 100.
There's new all the time. And it's just really wherever there's a need and something that we can do. And what I've enjoyed about it is that when I say even Jamestown and Dunkirk are different, all over the world there are different things going on. It's
Certainly.
really go to the community, figure out what's needed. So if there's already 50 food pantries, don't start another food pantry. Start something that's needed in the community, you know.
Yeah.
And there's that flexibility to do that.
Wow. The first word that keeps popping in my mind right now is missionary. Are you missionaries?
I think in a sense, a lot of people that I grew up with are still in the same town working and we've kind of gone out. I never thought that I'd come from a graduating class of 26 white kids, to be honest, and be in a place like Newark, New Jersey, or some of the diverse places that I've worked in that. So I think it takes you out of what's normal for you. It may or may not be in a different country, but you are kind of a missionary. You're trying to share God's love through good works, through taking care of needs that people have.
Okay. Now, going along with the term missionary, missionaries to me have like a task of doing good work, but also converting or conversion to a particular religion. Is that an aspect of the Salvation Army, to convert people?
It is an aspect. It's not all of it, and I try and choose words carefully. I want
Right,
people
and I
to-
was too, because I don't see it quite like that, but
Yeah, which we don't want people to see us only as that. I think if you're a Christian, that's you know that's your main purpose. You want to bring other people along in that faith with you. At the same time, we know how people who only preach, that gets old and that can chase people away. We want to let people know that we're there for them, whether they believe the same as us or not, that they are welcome, that there's food there if they need it, that there's a basketball program for whatever your orientation is, whatever your race is, whatever your economic level is, you're comfortable with the Salvation Army. And then it's my plan for my own life that as I love them, as I take care of them, that question will just naturally pop up. Or if there's something they'd like to talk about, I'm there to talk about that and lead them in that faith step. But that can't be the first thing coming in the door. People need socks and shoes. They need full bellies. You know, kids need clean clothes for school and all of their supplies and things like that.
okay. Remember I told you we're going to drill down into the conversation. So now
Sure.
I'm going to drill down into Dunkirk, okay? So your title is Major. Now, do you have others that work with you of rank other than soldier?
Not here in town, no.
Okay, so in other words, you are the officer in charge.
Correct.
Now in Jamestown, would they have lieutenants or?
There's a couple over there of majors, Majors John and Kim Merchant. They're in charge of Jamestown, and then there's a lieutenant there that assists them. It's a bigger operation, so
Right,
they
sure,
have
sure.
more officers
Okay,
there.
so you're sort of like the Lone Ranger up there. Okay, so having worked in and out of the county, all over the county, over the years, my role here as a host and TV producer, I've learned a lot about the county. So what makes Dunkirk a place that the Salvation Army needs to be? Why? Why are you there?
As I look around, the diversity that's there, I feel like part of it, God has sent me there because I am bilingual. I didn't plan that, certainly. Growing up in a little town and not knowing anybody that spoke anything other than English, I think that it's a diverse town that we get a lot of immigrants. Currently, there's a lot of people coming from Puerto Rico that are devastated and happen to know someone or
Oh,
that.
after all that hurricane, oh my gosh.
For some reason, Dunkirk is a hub in the North County for people who are in need. This part of the state has become, over the years, our history, we've brought a lot of people with maybe less mental capacity or discapacitated people in different ways. We're naturally brought to this side of the county, kind of, and they're still here having their families and maybe don't have all of the abilities that you and I have to function, but they're having families and they're running households somehow. And Dunkirk has a lot of grandparents that are raising their own grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
I know a few great-grandparents that are raising grandchildren.
Oh boy.
And I don't know what they do. I don't know how they do that, to have the patience to love somebody that much. And so I think that the Salvation Army can be a support to them. We have an aging group of people that 20-some% of our people around Dunkirk are over the age of 70, and they need services. A lot of them are lonely, so we work with Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels will take them food every day. Once a month, we're able to give them kind of a food stuff, a box of things that'll help them get through weekends or other times when food isn't delivered to them. So we just try and look at who's in the community, and I think that there's a lot of need in Dunkirk, a lot that we can accomplish.
Now, being in Dunkirk, do you primarily stay in Dunkirk, or are you spread out around Dunkirk? How's that work?
We serve the North County,
Okay.
so anybody in the North County would be able to come to our food pantry, and then and Jamestown does the same with the South County. So certainly any of our programs are open to anybody in the North County.
Okay, so Westfield, Ripley, Sherman, or
Absolutely.
or probably anybody really, but I mean anybody that would
Cassadaga.
find it close enough to go that direction. We haven't even talked about where is the Salvation Army in Dunkirk.
We're located at the corner of 7th Avenue and Central Avenue. 7th Street and Central Avenue. I get it backwards. And
If I remember, it's a
great
pretty big
location.
building, right?
It is. When I first came into town, I thought, my goodness, our building, it's a nice brick building and a pretty big lot. It almost looks like you're in a park, and really appreciative of how beautiful of a location we
If I'm
have.
not mistaken, I think my son played league basketball there at the
Okay.
Salvation Army in the summertime. I remember it was hot and heavy, and those guys really
There's no
learned
central
their
air.
chops. No, there isn't. They were just sweating, but I mean, it was like basketball at its finest. I mean, these guys were from all over the northern region, and they were really battling it out. I mean, they really learned their craft there. So, now, how long has the Salvation Army been in Dunkirk? Do you have any idea?
We've been in Dunkirk 126 years this year.
Are you kidding? 126 years.
We started down on 4th Street, and in 1969 moved to our current location.
Now, that building doesn't look like it originally was built for you all. Was it something before that?
I believe it was built, there's a cornerstone on it that says 1969, so I think so.
Really?
I think that it was
Okay.
built back then.
I would have thought it was an older building that was renovated or something like that. Okay. Could
Yeah,
be.
so it's lovely. We have a gym that the kids can play in. We have the food pantry there, the chapel, classroom space, office space.
Classrooms. Okay. Very good.
So,
You sent along some photographs, and I thought maybe we would talk about those in just a second. But I just want to do a quick little break here and just remind folks that are listening or watching that you are watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and my guest today is Christine Ramirez, who is the major for the Salvation Army in Dunkirk, New York. And we're going to look at some photos right now that you sent along. And, you know, I forgot to mention, you were supposed to be here before Christmas and you got sick.
I was.
And you're okay now?
I think so.
Okay.
I hope so.
I'll ask Nancy. Is she okay? Is she all right? All right, she all right. Okay.
about
See, I
20.
got you on it. See, I mentioned her name on the air now, so she's famous.
Shout out to Nancy.
She should do shout out. Okay. So, Jeff, let's start one picture at a time, and we're going to describe it. So there we go. What is this?
This is our shield that we used for our flyers for the 4-on-4 basketball league. And we have basketball going year-round. We have 306 kids in the program.
Oh, my.
And they play basketball. Right now we're just finishing up with our first winter league, so we'll have some more. And then during March Madness, March and April, we do the 4-on-4 league. They form teams of 4 and train in different ways throughout the year when we're not on our
So is
on our
there
teams.
like a championship or a trophy or what?
Yeah, they get a medal and a trophy, and
Wow. Wow.
they get to kind of pick their teams. For the usual basketball teams, the coaches will take them and try and make fair teams with them. For a league like 4-on-4, they can pick their own team of friends.
So what
and
position
try
do you
to
play?
Observer.
Cheerleader, cheerleader.
Yeah, I cheer. I can yell some crazy
That is,
things.
you know, that is terrific because I know so many times kids are sitting around after school and they're going like, oh, there's nothing to do. And I live in a pretty rural area, so I mean, that would be a really nice draw if we had something like that, you know, in our
Yeah.
closer. 306 kids. What are the age groups for that?
We've started even with second graders this year, and we go
wow.
all the way up to through high school.
Now, is there an adult version of this?
We've started to grow into an adult version as kids have graduated and not wanted to leave. So we've started an adult league. This year, for the first time, we're actually going to do glow-in-the-dark dodgeball with them,
Glow
with
in
the
the
adults.
dark. Oh,
So
Chautauqua
they're-
Sunrise guys. Should we go do that? That sounds
You
like
should
fun.
have a team.
We
You
can after your
absolutely
dad.
should.
We'll put this great big shiny thing on his back. We'll after him.
It's a whole lot of fun.
I bet it is.
And it's growing into having this be a home. This is where we come, we hang out, we enjoy friendship, we learn about family, and we throw dodgeballs at each other.
Well, it's
and, you know.
recreation, right? It's laughing,
is.
having fun, and
Yeah.
so Randy made some comment in my ear, but I didn't catch all of it. But I think he said he volunteered to be a target. All right, let's see
Okay,
the
then.
next picture.
And these are kids doing training. A lot of times for basketball training, we will do games with them just to get them to work as a group together. And this is teaching each other to dribble, I believe.
Okay, now, for those that are listening right now, I am looking at a picture of a building for the gymnasium that looks like a high school gymnasium, and it's huge. And it's well lit, and there's lots of, the floor's painted and where it's supposed to be. And are there bleachers at all there? Or?
We don't have bleachers,
Okay.
and so the parents, that back wall there will line up with plastic chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and the parents will sit there and not move during the game. There's really not space to even build out and make bleachers, I think. But you know, it's a gym, and the kids.
But it's great for kids. There's all
it
kinds of
is.
them there. So where do your coaches come from? Are they just volunteers in the community?
Some of them grew up in our program. Other ones are volunteers. Other ones coach at schools and come.
Terrific.
There's a pastor who comes from another church, and so just different people come and help out.
Okay, next one. Oh, another shot. Wow.
This is a shot of the middle school league. This is their championship game. And last year, the girls actually beat the boys.
Why not?
We
Why
started
not?
with one or two girls teams, and
Terrific.
so
Looks
but
like a lot of fun. Okay. Keeping kids off the
they're
street,
having
keeping
a
them
good
busy.
time.
Okay. Oh, look at this. Oh,
These guys went to-
giving you a little attitude there. Yeah.
We get them up pretty early sometimes, so you have to put up with a little attitude before breakfast. But these guys actually got to go to Syracuse last year
Oh.
and play in a Salvation Army league. The Salvation Army had a tournament statewide where people from all ages would come.
Nice.
And so these guys were chosen. They were off of the best behaved off of the winning team to go, and they got to play. They got jerseys and shirts and just a whole weekend of activities for kids that are involved in Army programs throughout the state.
Very cool. Okay. Keep 'em rolling. Oh, another shot. Oh, this is the heat of
There's
the
another
basketball
shot.
game
Yeah,
here.
that's defense.
Okay.
Kids around the
let's keep
gym.
going.
We do have we have refs that come.
Mm-hmm.
The same refs come every year, and just it is a paid position, but they just enjoy coming. And you'll see in this picture the old gym floor. That's still underneath there.
Okay.
So one of the neat things is that the Boys and Girls Club moved into the building about a year and a half ago, shares space with us. When they moved in, they had a grant for a brand new gym floor.
Oh, that's
And
softer
so
stuff?
it's softer stuff, and
Oh,
it can be
nice.
removed so that if they should move, they can take it with them.
That floor will
But
travel.
we benefited, half floor will travel. So we benefited from that. Our kids get a new gym floor to play on. and
Nice. Good
It's a good
cooperative things.
partnership.
All right, what do we have here? Oh, a bunch of smiley faces.
These are some lovely girls. They do cheerleading for the teams. So it's one way of getting the girls involved. It's not just basketball, not just boys, but girls can play basketball or be involved in
We have
cheerleading.
their
and-
T-shirts on. They're all official.
And these are some of the kids that come for our character building programs. They come once a week and do crafts. The group of young girls is called Sunbeams. So it's similar to Brownies.
Okay.
They get badges, they learn different activities and that. And this is them just going to the World Day of Prayer and singing.
So how
in
many
Washington Park.
how many young ladies are involved with this program offhand?
Right now we have about 20 kids, boys and girls that come. We're short on leaders for the boys for this one, so we merge the girls and boys together
Sure.
and have fun anyway.
Okay, great. Oh boy, busy.
And these are some of the craft times with the kids. So we do tutoring after school and then try and get a craft going in a lesson, and You can't just do an hour of tutoring or just do a craft. Kids need different activities all the time.
Sure. So is this a classroom that was?
That's our activity room. That
activity
would be
room.
where we have, it's our cafeteria, it's our craft room.
Now, those are children after
Mm-hmm.
school. Are those rooms used during the day with seniors or adults? Or anything?
So right now, that's what we're looking into, is figuring out how to fill the building during the day. We want the building to be used all of the time. And so we have just begun some initial talks with trying to figure out how we could serve the community. What I'm understanding is that one of the needs is for a feeding program for seniors who, the Spanish-speaking seniors won't come to the other programs, but they're starting to get comfortable around the South. So we were thinking maybe we could, obviously any senior could come in and eat, but we would be able to maybe make them comfortable. Like Puerto Ricans like to play dominoes, maybe do a little of that, or things to make them comfortable so that they'll come in and get the food that they need.
Why aren't they getting the food that they need?
A lot of them are just low income, don't know where the resources are,
Okay.
don't know really where to go, and don't speak
if
the
they
language.
if they would show up at your place, you probably could help them figure that
We
out.
could help
right?
them figure that out. So even giving them a free lunch once or twice a week is a little bit of a gimmick to get them in and get them informed and help them to be more comfortable in their community.
That's one of the things I found over the years, is that the services are all around, but there's that disconnect because of language, transportation, not understanding that this is okay, it's safe,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. So I could-
The word army is a weird word. If you don't know what we're about, people wonder. People come from countries where army is not a good word, and so they
Oh my
look at the
gosh.
uniform and stand back
Could
a
you
bit,
imagine
and they
coming
have
in
to
from
learn.
some of those South American countries or from, the Middle East? Yeah, army is not a good word.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more picture, Jeff says.
Okay.
What do we got? Oh, okay.
Oh, this is our new Apple Pay and Google Pay. So Kettles came into the current century this year with stickers, so that when you go to the Kettles at Christmas time, you can use your smartphone and you can donate with your phone. We have a text to pay option, so you can text and donate. And of course, the Kettle's always there for cash.
Where did the Red Kettle idea come from? Do you know?
I do. I don't remember the year. It began in California with a Salvation Army captain who didn't have food for his feeding program. And so he actually took his pot that he was cooking in out into the street and you bang
Oh,
a
yeah.
spoon on it and asking for donations in the street so he could buy food to feed people.
Oh my
And it
gosh.
grew from there.
I guess I've never thought about where the origin was on that, so that's interesting.
Innovation.
Okay, Christine, you gave me a list of some things that you were working on as for talking points, and so camperships. What's all that about?
Every summer, the Salvation Army sends kids to Long Point Camp and to Bethany Camp out of the Dunkirk office. And the cost for going to Long Point Camp, our cost is $500 a child. They get a week there. It's on Seneca Lake, so they get to swim in the lake, fish, hike,
Nice, okay.
all kinds of things. Transportation and meals are included. So we are seeking people that might be able to sponsor a local child. It's $100 a day or $500 for the whole week.
Wow. Okay, we have a caller. You want to take a call?
Sure.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. This is Linda Spalding.
Hi, Linda.
Good morning,
Hello.
Christina. Good morning, Doc.
Hi, Linda.
Christina, it's great to see you on the show. I want to mention that I have the greatest appreciation for the Salvation Army because you do such wonderful things. And whenever you're collecting
you.
at Christmas time, I always give every time I pass the kettle because I have sent so many people in my line of work for services at your organization. In
good.
Dunkirk, Jamestown, Olean, it's a wonderful organization.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
You really do help people. You do things, you give them things that they really need.
Linda, in what way do you work with them? Your senior program?
Sometimes occasionally I do have people that have fallen on hard times,
Okay.
and they're just getting
Oh, so
settled.
you kind of steer them towards the Salvation
Well,
Army.
they may need something like, toiletries. I know
Sure.
Salvation Army gives toiletries.
Mhm.
I mean, I've had people who've just moved in from an area, and not even just when I worked with the senior employment, but other programs. And they just moved in, and they didn't have much of a financial background, and they needed services. And so I would send them for different things that you give. And, of course, I know it's the food and the clothing, but the toiletries are so important. And I know that you had someone who worked in the Jamestown office. Her first name was Stephanie. And for years, I counted on her to get help for different people. She even delivered things to their home.
That's wonderful.
Okay. So anything else you want to share?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
We have funding. We're putting people on our program, and people are getting jobs. It's a great time to get employment, to be out there looking. It's springtime. I heard a cardinal sing this morning. And also, I do have an opening that I would like to fill quite soon in the Jamestown area for a clerical position.
Okay, and let's pop up that phone number, Jeff.
The number in Mayville for the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging is 753-4471.
Okay. And I suspect if you had somebody in your area that needed some senior employment,
That would be great.
Great connection.
And Christina, I can give you a person to help in a clerical capacity or any capacity, maintenance or whatever, through our senior employment because you are not for profit.
Oh, that would be wonderful. We absolutely rely on volunteers and, frankly, free labor. But I've found that the senior volunteers are very reliable, and they have the kind of life experience that gives them a passion and a concern for people that we help. So it's a good match, Linda.
Well, and these individuals are paid, but they're paid by the program. They're on our payroll.
That's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right.
Well, thank you, and Doc, thank you for being such a wonderful job developer.
You're very welcome.
I'll
I
be
do
giving
I
you
do
a
this
call.
a couple times a month. I find connections here. So.
That's terrific.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Have a great weekend and a great day.
Nice to
All right,
meet you,
thanks,
Linda.
Linda.
Nice
Take
to
care.
meet you too, Christina. Thank you.
Okay. So we only got a couple minutes left. So you have here food pantry. Tell us about that.
Our food pantry is open 5 days a week. People can come in and receive a 3-day supply of food for their family. And something new we've started in January, if you're employed and you can't get to the food pantry between 9 and 1, you can call, and Tuesday and Thursday evenings we're there by appointment only. We have some volunteers that will hang around so that people should feel comfortable calling.
What would the
if
number
they-
be? I don't see it here.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. The number would be 366
366
3701.
3701. 366 3701.
And if
Okay.
you call, we'll make you an appointment if you need food and can't get there when we're open.
Good to know. All right. We're down about a minute and a half. What else you want to talk
Great.
about?
I just want to thank you for letting us be here and get the word out. Would like to just say I'm really thankful for all the people that we're able to partner with throughout the community. Chautauqua County is a beautiful place to work and live, and we all work together to make life better. So thankful for certainly the Chautauqua Hurricanes and the Chautauqua Center, the partnership this year with the Boys and Girls Club, places like the Observer and the City of Dunkirk and Feed More Western New York that give us funds or give us in-kind gifts and help us out that way. My new partnership with the Rotary is a good thing, getting to
It's
know
a
people.
very
and
good thing.
So many people that just, we can work together and help each other.
No doubt. We can't do it alone in many cases. Most of our organizations don't have the resources anymore.
we don't,
But,
and we
but we
shouldn't.
all have resources, but not enough. But together we can do a lot.
That's right.
Okay. What's the number one need in Chautauqua County right now in your mind?
Oh my heavens.
Your heavens?
Heaven? Wow. I think just generosity. Not that we're not a generous people, but that I think we hold back and we all have more that we can give.
So just not at Christmas time, year round.
Year-round generosity for everyone.
Okay. Well, we've run out of time. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. Today, my guest has been Major Christine Ramirez from the Dunkirk Salvation Army. And if you have any questions or want to know more about the programs, 366?
3701.
Okay.
Call me.
So please check it out, and it sounds like you got some awesome programs. I'm so glad you could join us today.
I'm so glad you could have me. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're going to do this all again next Saturday and 9 o'clock. And so remember, we have our shows all on YouTube, and if you want to come back
Yes.
and reference this, you can. Also, if you didn't catch the whole show, you can catch us at 2 and 8 every day this week on Channel 1301 on Spectrum Cable. I'm Doc Hamill saying have a great weekend, and we'll see you all again next week. Take care now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.